Hello, welcome, bienvenue, hola. How should I say? Konnichiwa. And good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is, good evening. Whichever time you start watching this, The Art of F.A. Checky. Episode 7 now of this long start of a series, from episode 1 being my first official show to this episode 7 being the continuation of this seaside port scene that I've been working on. We're going to have 8 episodes. That's 4 and 4, 8 all together. Oh, there's one of my dogs right there. There's that Millie. Where are you? There she is. She comes in the office every once in a while. Say hello to everybody. Say hi, Millie. Okay, maybe not today so much. This episode 7, I thought to bring up something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is the support for the fine arts, the performing arts, the visual arts, the audio arts, sound, whatever, audio arts, all kinds of art. But painting, obviously, that's my passion. Make sure my hair looks good. How's it look? Okay. Anyway, to get back serious, don't want to go into too much politics right now, but currently the present administration, federally speaking, you know who I'm talking about, is cutting major funding for the arts, which doesn't necessarily affect a little guy like me, but affects people, affects artists, affects museums, support for various things in performing, you know, especially in the performing arts and other things, schools, education, all things that go into preservation art, restoration art, all these various things. So this is a special episode I'd like to dedicate to bringing back awareness to promotion of the arts, patrons of the arts. If I could get a lot of hits on this video, it's really important to me. I promise you, there's a contract with YouTube and everybody else. If we can get this video going big, going strong, going viral, I promise right here, I will give half of all the advertising revenue to the performing arts and start a fund in whichever charity we can create. I probably have to have enough support for a lawyer to create a charity and a trust to support artists that are starting out. Obviously, my gig is very different. I don't necessarily have to live off of my art, thank God. But, you know, I love being an artist. It's something I do. I'm very, very passionate about it. But, you know, this is really upsetting me how, you know, the support for the arts has been going for years, getting cut severely. And I would really like to bring people's attention to that, because it's not right. Art's such an important part of our lives, whether we think it or not. It's even like movies and things like that. That's art, okay? The music we love, so on and so forth. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do my favorite little ritual here in the beginning. Where is it at? Where? Oh, there he is. Bob Ross right in here. This is kind of a little bit of a difficulty here, if you can see what I'm doing. I have to do it with one hand because I got the camera on the other. I don't have it strapped on my head. All right. Maybe I should. Maybe I should strap the camera to my head. Got this new candle. Once this one's out, I got this new beautiful candle my wife got me. Actually, you put little candles in it, but it's inside of a tree log. Well, maybe we'll use that too. But anyway, I'm going to get started painting here. I want to show you little touch-ups I'm going to do here at the ships, which are almost done. I'll give you a little preview on here in the beginning as to what I've been doing, some tips, some, you know, backdrop stuff to what I was doing before, where we left off from the last episode, and so on and so forth. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, tell everybody about it. This show is going to be so much more than just art. Once we get through the series of 8 first episodes, initial episodes of my show, we're going to go from there, next project. And, you know, I don't want to just be an art techniques and, like, you know, I don't want to just do the, this is how you paint thing. I want this to be also a discussion about art. I want it to be about me, is what I do, and about the art, about my kids, about my family, I believe the artist is very much a part of the art. And so again, thank you for watching FATV, The Art of F.A. Checky. Please subscribe once again and share. Let's get this video going big time out there so everybody can be a part of saving art, saving support for the art. Thank you. And here we are. Okay, hopefully this is filming. It looks like it is. We are rolling. Rolling, people. All right. Enough of that. So you can see the right side ship here. We're using, let's just go through some brushes here. Very fine brushes like this one here. Okay, very fine points. To give you a enumeration on it, just says 2 level, 20-0. Really love these brushes here. And they do say 1 level, 20. These are another 20-0 here, but different grips. Little chiseled edge on here for certain things. I got my little wire brush, which is like just a freaking hair. Just a freaking hair. And a few others, just little blending brushes and various things if I need to move some things around on the canvas and make them look fancy, or just a bunch of little ones like this. I use a lot of it just for blending and so on. The ones here, I'm sorry, I was holding it like there. Okay, so just a variety of a large variety of brushes, a couple wire brushes. I got another one here with just one hair on it. We'll get back to using that here as we need to. A little bit of backdrop again, as I was talking earlier, to go through. This ship has now been fleshed out a lot in oils. It needs some touch-ups. I wanted to point out something about light and how these masts are pointed in this way. I think there needs to be a little more highlight on some. But you'll see the front mast here got quite a bit of light shining there because we have the light source right over this way, right? Okay. Rear windows vary the light in the back windows. You can see how I varied it. I might need to touch up a little bit on those lines there, which you see with the window pane. I can't decide yet if I want to do a 2-story or this is just like a large gallery back there, where, you know, they have 4 very large windows divided maybe into 2 big rooms or something like that. So anyway, this gives you an idea of what the techniques have come out to look like, but we're not necessarily seeing everything. And maybe we'll go over some of these buildings here just real quick. So let's get to the ship real fast. I'm going to use this real fine brush, and I'm just going to go into a little bit of this gold ochre, very, very tiny bit. Did I just knock the camera? Okay. We're still okay. I don't have a lot of room here. The professional crew hasn't arrived yet to start filming, so just bear with me. And as I paint, let's talk and so on. I was talking earlier about my passion for supporting the arts. I love all kinds of arts, various kinds. Painting obviously being one of many kinds out there. My stepson, who's 17, he does a lot of choir, singing, and so forth. And good old Millie's still here keeping me company. She hasn't left yet. Oh, she's licking my arm. Thank you, Millie. That's enough licking. Ah, stop it. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too as we paint. I think this right here, this mast, really feels like it needs a little shine right here, especially here on the edge. So what I did right there is I just added a little glow from where the direction, just on the top, as the light's just penetrating enough that way. And then what we're going to do underlying that is, because it was very silhouetted. Millie, what do you want? Okay. Are you nervous? It's raining here today. A lot of thunder. You might hear some here soon. I think she's getting nervous, detecting that a storm's on our way, are on its way. So another 20-0 point. Just kind of underline this and blocking a little bit too high right there, but it's okay. Sometimes you want a little variation because this is wood. Okay, obviously. What else are they gonna make a ship out of, dummy? Yeah, enough of the funny voices right now. Probably annoys some of you, but I do it all the time. I'm just doing it so much I don't even realize it. But I want want the show to be for kids too, not just for adults. I want it to be for all ages, really. Naples Yellow. Let me tell you a little story about Naples Yellow. It's not really yellow so much as it is such a bright color on the canvas. And you can put a little bit in here too, where you want to vary the tone of the white, but really bring out some shine, like right there. You might be able to see it. Maybe, maybe not. But you could do the same likewise on other parts here that as we go up, I think the light is breaking a little bit, so to speak. And I'm going to fix that too. This 20/0 point level. It's level 1, man. I want to be level 10. No, I think the levels just are the type of brushes, how they break them down. I get a lot of my brushes at various stores around where I live. It just depends what I need. And I'm always looking for different brushes because different brushes do different things and allow for certain brush strokes, I suppose. I got to be really careful here not to press into the side of the ship. This paint here, I could touch it. It's been there forever. 3 months. The oils take sometimes a month if they're really thick. I'm going to talk about dry time. So I'll just use this little staff here. And color in a little bit here because there's a line of rope, I believe, under here that I'm going to make a little bit. So under these masks too, go way too much paint on here. Always have your paper towel roll next to you. You don't even want to see my palette, but anyway, I needed to wipe some paint off because there's just way too much black paint. Now I'm just resting this on here. There's a little hook I have back here where I can twist my rope. This is so not conventional. Don't try this at home, okay? You might get really upset if it doesn't work like my rig. My rig's my rig. I mean, all artists have their own rigs that they come up with, I think, that what they feel comfortable with. But this allows me a little arm rest here, hand rest. And just to say there's little ropes here and there hanging on these sails. Now let's go back to a sail. So I put a little rope under there. I highlighted a little bit on that mast. Bottom mast definitely want more of that highlight. I'm going to take this little chisel brush here because I think it looks good. I got a little gold, tiny touch of gold ochre on here. Some white. And I'm going to put a little bit of Naples Yellow on there. Really brush it off. So I don't want too much paint on the brush. I got to kind of dull it down. So get yellow, so gold ochre, white, Naples Yellow. Okay. And some of these can't even think right now, sails that are pinned up with rope. Get a little bit of highlight here and there. Some more than others, of course. And we'll fix those as we go. All right. Not too much, not too much. Some I can freehand here, just kind of putting in before I drop in more of the lines. Because I want some of that underneath light to penetrate through, because these are very thin. And then where it's bunching up, where the sail bunches up is where the light can't penetrate as much. Make sense? Like you can answer. I guess if there's a comment on here, you want to make a comment. Got to cover up a little bit of that steeple back there on that chateau or whatever giant, such a very large building back there that we'll have to add a little highlight later on. So I'm just kind of coloring in, but not over coloring my sails. Okay, like I said, all pinned up, bunched up. A lot of them bunched up here. This thing's at port. Why would you do this? Well, obviously, if you know anything about maritime stuff, which I don't know a whole lot about, I just love ships. You don't want these sails dragging that ship anywhere. They gotta be really well pinned up there. Okay, sometimes they have to take them down all together, also fluttering in the wind. All right, Now, another tip. If you put too much paint in the brush, what's going to happen, you're going to be adding more, obviously, matter from the oils onto the canvas. And as you do that, bear in mind that you are creating a surface and a tension and a fluid on there, okay? Just like any other liquid. This oil is a liquid, it's just really thick, okay? Like Vaseline almost, except it's not quite as slimy like that. Bad analogy, Frank. Frank, I'm F.A., but Frank is my name. I just go by F.A. because that's my artist name. I'll call you. Oh, you can call me Frank. All right, or you can call me Al. You know. You can call me Al. You can call me Al. Very bad rendition of that Paul Simon, Chevy Chase video, Paul Simon song. Okay. Can't see much where it was. I'm just kind of getting some of this off my brush on a couple parts you aren't seeing. All right, going back in here, I think you're gonna have a little bit of highlight on this sail here, not a ton, but just a little bit, especially on the edge right there. Okay, and we're gonna go over this a little more later, but it needs a little illumination, I think, in that sense, in this Naples Yellow combo I have going. Not a whole lot on that end. I'm just pressing in a little paint and then just kind of working it a little bit. I'll blend it. And the reason for that is the light piercing through part of the veil of this sail. Much more shadow near the top. All right. All right. Okay. So those are some just basic techniques that are not fully touched up, okay? But they add some, not just flavor, but texture and realism. Because this is not a hyper-realism painting, right? So we don't need to go 100% in terms of details, okay? Just enough to fit the motif or the style. And the style I wanted here was to feel like something fantasy-like. I wanted I love fantasy stuff, and I have a lot of people I'm friends with online that love fantasy too, and that's the look I want on this. Another painting that is the Traversing Golden Seas, you'll see on my Facebook and a lot of my social media, is the one in the greenish water, really close-up of a ship. For hyper-realism, I like to be doing closer-up things or whatever. I wanted to go for a more hyper-realistic view on that. But not obviously to the point of overkill, like, wow, is that a photo or not? I wanted to have a photo-esque quality to it, but what does that mean? I think it just means it was like, okay, well, at first glance, kind of photo-ish looking, or CGI-ish, perhaps, 3D, so on and so forth. But here we are, a little bit towards the end of what I'm doing here, okay? I don't want to spend a tremendous amount of time on this video so that we could talk a little here at the end, but I'm just going to kind of paint as I talk towards the end of this video. You can see the Canon doors here. I just want to point out, when you're doing those, be careful how much detail you do, how much shadowing you do. I don't want to lose my illumination of other things that I feel don't need too much detail, or else I'm going to drown out some things with where it should be less detailed. I'm going to add a little sheen right there on the side of the boat, like that. Just a little bit of white paint. And the reason I'm doing it is there's some light really glossing right there. I don't want to do too much, okay? But it's really glossing in there. And where I feel like maybe I did too much, I can always take another brush and take maybe some of it down by blending it or pulling it off. It's starting to dry right here. But I feel like we need a good amount of shine right here. I can clean my brush off that I was just using if I want to just kind of make some little corrections, because there's a little bit of shadow in here near the doors. But the biggest thing I wanted to point out here is just how subtlety is important to some extent, but also being bold being detailed and bold is important too. They're kind of like two things that are playing together. What does that mean? Well, subtlety, okay, so subtlety sometimes just means not as much paint on there, not as much detail in line, whereas other things means more line, more detail, okay? And as we get closer, things get way more detailed. As we go farther away, as you know, things get a little less detailed and blurred because of the effect of light, how it manifests itself in the spectrum of reflection, refraction, distance, perspective, all these things that, forgive me if I don't have the art terms exactly right, but the things as they get further away do not project as much light as things that are up close. And not everything up close necessarily reflects as much light as you may think. And the reason for that is shadows and things that are in the dark. Okay, so I'm not sure where this thing kind of cut out there a minute ago. My battery on my camera is getting low. But as I was saying earlier, some things that are out there further away, even on the ship, don't do too much detail out there. You want to improve it as we get up close. Improve maybe some shadow lines, like if you want to shadow under this little tiny thin line of rope, it'll just bring it out a little bit more with that background. Okay, there's another rope coming down here, and I'm using carbon black, which is very dark, void of light, very void of light. We're gonna have more lines in here too, folks. There's a little flag back here as well. I'm gonna define a little bit more with this black, this flagpole. Okay, so there we go. And to sign off here again, I'm really trying to push this video big time for something that's important to me. And whether you are into just watching YouTube videos, I'm shaking my camera, but I'm trying to get it here. Whether you're into YouTube videos or what have you, or art, you're a creator of some kind, and this is important to you, I hope you share it. Like I said before, this is a promise. You can hold it to me. On my honor, if this can get some advertising revenue off of it, I would donate half of all of it to some type of support for the art. Somebody else's art, not mine, okay? Like a charity, that's a good one, or we create one. I might put it up to just hand it off to a lawyer and just be like, this needs to be a charitable trust for the arts. And I'm kind of a nobody right now in the YouTube world, but if I could use this for one good thing, this is what I'd like to use it for. There's so many good causes. Another YouTube video, we could go to feeding the poor and the homeless. I'm not all about keeping this money. If I ever make any off of these videos, if I ever get up there in the YouTube world and get enough likes and views and whatever, but art is something that's near and dear to me. I'm very passionate about it. So this is an appeal to all of you out there in YouTube land, and maybe if you're just a kid watching, you'd be like, hey mom, we need to share this video, show it to your friend, show it to anybody. And if you love art, you'll support this. So that's simple. If you love my art, you're supporting me. Great, I love it. Love you guys. And as the viewership grows, now we're up to 240 some subscribers. As we get more subscribers, we get more views. More views means how we get closer to monetization. We're not there yet, but I want to make sure every episode, not just this one in particular, I'm going to give away half. But every episode, I'm going to give away a significant portion of all the proceeds of advertising, either to an arts-related cause or some type of good charity, because I care very much about the people out there, and I'm very fortunate and I've had many blessings in life, and I want to give that back to everyone I can, or as many people as I can. And so I want to thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, especially this video, to get the word out about what F.A. Checky's doing with his YouTube channel in promotion of the arts and other good causes. And finally, be the artist that you aspire to be, that you're born to be. if that's what you're into, or maybe it's music, something that's art that, not painting necessarily, but if it's painting, right on. But, if you're into art, just focus on who you were born to be. Everybody has their own talents, and I think it's all important, a very great importance that we support that for various people. Take care, and I will see you next time. And as I close off, I'm just going to kind of pan in here. Ooh, look at that. I really am digging this piece. And so, again, so long. I hope you enjoy this. And I enjoy doing it. That's a lot of light glare down there. Just ignore that. But I wanted to kind of give you a nice panoramic view, and that's where we're at. Almost done. Next episode, we'll be doing some water. Take care. So long. Again, goodbye.